All right. Let's see. Okay, number one looks like it was easy. I got a printout this time. I know what percentage of you missed it. 19% of you missed number one. So it's not too bad. It's a pretty good question. So find the slope. Why is it not up there? Come on. Find the slope. How do you find the slope of a line? There it is. What do you do? Get y alone. There we go. Number one. Get y alone. So you take the 2x plus 4y is 18. Y is saying what he's always saying. I'm over here. I want to be alone. So get rid of the 2x from both sides. And we get what? 4y is minus 2x plus 18. Like that. Last step is divide by 4. And so y equals, and then reduce that, minus half x, plus reduce that, 9 halves divided by 2. Top and bottom, right? And, okay, so where's the slope? When you get y alone, where's the slope? Next x. So I hope as I'm doing this that you're writing all these down on a separate piece of paper that says practice exam and showing all the steps. It'll be on YouTube as well. That's the way to be a student, right? You want to get everything down, even if you don't understand everything. A lot of times I didn't understand stuff when I was in class, but I would get it all down and look at it later. Plus it's on YouTube. There were no YouTubes back then. All right, so that's whatever that answer is, C or whatever. D. There it is. Questions on that one? That good? All right, I'm going to go on to number 2. If that was too quick, it'll be there on YouTube later. All right, number 2. Looks like 41% of you missed number 2. You didn't like number 2, huh? All right, let's try it. So number 2. 15x plus 21 greater than 3 times 4x plus 4. All right. So what do? Well, here's the wall. We distribute, right? Zip and a zip. 12x plus 12. Okay. What do we do now that we have x on opposite sides? Yeah, you want to get rid of one of them, right? Everybody good with that? When you have x on opposite sides, you want to get rid of one of them? So I'm going to subtract 12x from both sides, and that'll get rid of that one. Like that. And then we get what? 3x plus 21. This just brings down the 12. So next, what do you do to get x alone? Subtract 21. So, what's that? Minus 9. And then last step to get x alone? Divide by 3. So x greater than minus 3. So, what's that, B? X greater than minus 3. Hey, should I flip this? I got a negative. Should I have flipped that symbol? No, I thought that was the rule. You get a negative, flip symbol. Yeah, I'm saying it wrong because I've heard it that way. It's only what you put under the bar in negative, not if the answer's negative, right? So let me be, so we do not flip the symbol here. We do not, right? So I divided by positive, so do not flip. Do not flip, right? So it's not what the answer is, it's what you put under the bar. If you put a negative under the bar, you've got to flip the symbol. But I put a positive 3 under the bar. The answer just happened to come out negative. But I can't control that. Good? On that one, so it's B. That okay? Almost half of you missed that. So is there anything I can answer on that? Does that make sense now? Got that down? We good? All right, so I'm going to move on. I'm going to go quick. Sorry, it'll be on YouTube later if I'm going too fast for you. So I just want to try to get through as many as I can. Number 3, it's a grapher. And a lot of people miss this one as well. 44%, almost half. All right, so number 3, I mean. Minus 3x minus 25 equals 0. All right, what should we do first on this one? Now, let me move it up here. Put it up here. So what do we do first? get x alone, right? Get x alone. So that would be, to get x alone, going to add 25 to both sides. So that would be, bring this down, minus 3x equals 25. So far, so good? Boom, boom. Good, good. Last step, to get x alone, is divide by minus 3, right? X equals now. What in the world? A lot of people probably got here, I'm assuming. I don't know. I didn't look close. And kind of went, oh, what now? What's that? 25 over negative 3? Is that a slope? Is that rise 25 back through? What is that? Yeah, well, what you need to remember, first off, to be able to know what to do now is the main thing is there's only one letter. Notice this is a special equation. It doesn't have a y. It only has x, which means it's a straight line, straight vertical, or straight horizontal, huh? So we know that first off. So therefore, this is not a slope. Because it's not next to x. Remember, slopes are next to x, aren't they? That's not a slope, which means I don't really want to keep it two numbers. So divide it on your calculator. So take 25 and divide by negative 3. We get negative 8.3. Is that what it is? On your calculator? Is that making sense? How did I know to do that? One more time. Because this is not a slope. The only time I want to leave a fraction as a fraction is if it's a slope. Because then I need the two separate numbers for rise and run. That's when I must leave things as fractions, right? But this is not next to x. So it's not a slope. So I don't want to leave it as a fraction. So I divide it on my calculator, make it negative 8.3. Now I've got x as negative 8.3. Go to a graph. What's that going to look like if I do a graph over here? Negative 8.3. That means hit the x-axis at negative 8.3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's negative 8. There's negative 9. Where's negative 8.3? Yeah, it's kind of close to negative 8. About like right there. Does that make sense? You go through the x-axis at negative 8.3. So I went through the x-axis way back over here, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative, oh, I'm off a little bit. Oh, no, I'm right. Negative 7, negative 8, so somewhere between negative 8 and negative 9. Negative 8.3. Does that make sense? Now, which answer is that? Remember, on the graph ones, I'm not going to give you an E, none of the above. Do you like that? There's no none of the aboves on the picture ones, on the graph ones. The other ones, there's a none of the above. But for the graph ones, there's no none of them, because I don't want you to be fooled by something little. Definitely. Yeah, it's got a trick. I'm aware of it, too. So, x plus 5y greater than or equal to negative 1. Okay, same thing. Y wants to be alone. What's we saying? I want to be alone. So it kind of starts out the same. It does a little weird trick in a minute. Subtract the x thing from both sides. Then we get 5y greater than or equal to minus x minus 1. Get to there. Got to get y alone. So divide by 5. Divide by 5 all the way across, right? And we get y greater than or equal to minus x over 5 minus 1/5. We all good to there? Got y alone? All is well? Probably all of you did that just fine, I'm assuming. Got y alone. Now it's, do I need to turn the symbol on that one? No, I did not. What did I put under the bar? Positive 5. It's a regular 5. So no turning the symbol needed. It's only when you put a negative under the bar that you need to turn the symbol. Okay, so anyway, let's graph it. Where do we start? We're going to graph this thing. Down 1 over 5. No, that's not a slope. It's not next to x. But that's a very common mistake, right? That's not a slope. That's not next to x. Remember, we only want to leave fractions when? When they're a slope. When are they a slope? When they're next to x. Are you with me? So let me write a note about that somewhere. Only leave fractions when they are a slope next to x. Otherwise, change fractions 2 decimals on your calculator. So I'm going to divide this one on my calculator. 1 divided by 5.2. Make sense how I'm thinking about that? Because I don't want 2 numbers out here. That's just one number. That's just my starting spot. I need 2 numbers next to x, and there's a 1 on the top. Huh? I know you all know that. Because that's my slope. That's my rise over my run. So I want 2 numbers next to x because I need a slope. But I don't want 2 numbers back here. That's just one dot. That's just one starting spot. I don't want 2 numbers, so don't leave 1/5. I mean, you could leave 1/5 if you know that's just something a little bit, But don't think it's 2 things. Don't think it's up 1 over 5 or something like that, or down 1 or whatever. Don't make that mistake. It's not a slope because it's not next to x, right? We good with that? That making sense? So when it comes to graphing then, I'll go to a fresh, if you got that copied down, I'll go to a fresh screen and graph it because I scribbled all, well here, I'll just erase my scribbling. I hope you got that down. So only when it's a slope, only when it's next to x do you leave it. Okay, so let's graph it. So how are we going to graph it? Well, you start at down, that's a negative, huh? Down 0.2. So that's, where's that? Well, just a little bit, you can hardly tell in these graphs. Good enough, though. It's just multiple choice. Just down a little bit. See how my first dot right there is just down a little bit? Right? That's the same thing as down. If you wanted to leave it 1/5, you could. If you just knew, hey, that's just down a little bit. It's just down 1/5. That's fine. You don't have to change to 0.2 as long as you know what it means. Right? It's just down a little bit is the point. On the center. First point's on the center line. Positive up, negative down, right? So that's just down a little bit on the center. All right? And then where do we go from there? Down 1 over 5. Because what's next to x is a slope. We do need that to be 2 separate things. Down 1 over 5. Where's that? I don't know. Somewhere about over here. Close enough. I mean, see how this isn't rocket science. You don't need to be super exact. Close enough. And now connect the dots. There we go. Like that. Now, am I going to shade above it or below it? Y greater. Greater's above. So which line looks like that? D. It's always D. No, it's not always D, but it has been for a while. D. D again. Good that way? Questions on that? Does that make sense? We good? 56% of you missed it, so I want to make sure we're good now. Is that good? So the trick was having that fraction at the back, I think, is what fools people. It's not a slope unless it's next to x, right? We good? No questions? All right. So, yeah, 47% missed number 7. Okay, let's take a look at number 7. They're asking about parallel, perpendicular, neither. What do you got to do? What do you got to do to figure out parallel, perpendicular, neither? Yeah, just get y by itself and grab the slope and compare the slopes. You don't need to graph them. You don't need to do all that work. Just take the first one. 3x minus 4y is 8. And just, same old thing. Y sound below. So let's get rid of the 3x. And then divide through by the negative 4. Two negatives, what's that? Positive 3/4 minus 2. So what's the slope on that one? 3/4. Remember, slopes are next to x, right? Now let's get the slope for the second one. What's the second one? It's 8x plus 6y is 8. Y is staying again, I won't be alone. So subtract 8x. Zip. Zip. So 6y is what? Minus 8x plus 8. Last step in getting y alone, divide by 6. Y equals, then reduce this, right? Divide by 2. Top and bottom, minus 4/3 x plus I don't care, because all I care about is the slope. Minus 4/3, right? So, I've got my 2 slopes. One of them is 3/4, and the other one is minus 4/3. I didn't even finish that second one, because I don't care. All I'm comparing is slopes. So what do y'all think? How do those slopes compare? Perpendicular, because they're completely and totally, in every way, shape, and form, the opposite, right? That's what it means to be perpendicular. Like streets that are they head exactly the opposite direction, like an intersection, right? They're upside down, and one's positive and one's negative. This one's positive, right? And the other one's negative. They've got to be totally opposite in both sign and upside down, every way, to be perpendicular. They are perpendicular. Does that make sense on that? Good. Number 8. You did well on number 8. Yeah, 15% tip. Da-da-da. That's easy. I'm going to skip. I don't have time to do everything. I'm going to skip number 8 and move on. It's on the sheet. Well, yeah, you would just need to take, for number 8 here, I'll do it real quick. Just $52 times 15%. And what do you get? Like $7.80? And then add that, that's the tip, add that to the 52, get $59.80, there it is, you're done. Number 9, yeah, that was the most missed problem, 9 and 11. 9 and 11 were the top of the charts there. So let's try number 9, y'all got that down okay? Can I clear the screen and go for number 9? All right, so number 9. Number 9. Let's see, I'll do it here. So, 601 students. Let's start there. 601 students. Wouldn't that be boys plus girls is 601 students? Good so far? Boys plus girls, 601. So now, the whole trick is the second sentence. 91 more girls than boys. 91 more girls. So they're telling me something about the number of girls, aren't they? They're saying the number of girls, it's boys add 91. Isn't that what they're saying? 91 more. The number of girls is more. The number of girls is boys add 91. 91 more than boys. Is that good? Always makes sense when the math teacher does it. Always did to me. But the trick is learning to think that on your own. All right, so now take that and pop it right in there. Right? Gonna plug, because I don't want two letters. I don't want B and G. I got to substitute in, plug in, so I get it to be only one letter. So it'll be B plus, and what is G? B plus 91 equals 601. Are we all okay with that? So we end up with the two B's, right? One of them is from the boy, the other one's the boy plus 91 girl formula. Is that good? And then 1B and 1B makes 2B. Now that we have it just one letter, we just solve it. Subtract 91 from both. 2B is at 510. And then last step is divide by 2. B is 255. 255 boys. Is that what they asked for? Yeah. How many boys? 255. 255 boys. Is that okay? Feel like you can do that tomorrow when the real points are on the line? Questions I can answer? Okay, I'm going to move on if you got that down. Number 10. Remember the average we did yesterday? It was almost that same question, wasn't it? So you go 68 plus 72 plus x divided by 3 to get 75, like that. Remember how you do average? You add them up and divide by 3? So there's 3. And I don't know the third test score. It's x, right? That was yesterday's quiz, wasn't it? Something like that. And then how do we solve that? What do we do to solve that thing when you get those fractions? What's that? Multiply, right? Multiply both sides by 3. Right? Because this is 3 over 1 and it cancels, huh? Right? And then what do we get? 68 plus 72 plus x is, I don't know, what's 3 times 75? 210, 50, 225. Add these together here. So 140 plus x is 225. Last step to solve, minus 140. X is 85. 85 or greater. T. That good? Remember the average one? We've seen it in homework. We saw it in lecture. We saw it in homework. We saw it in a quiz. We've seen it on a practice exam. I hope you're ready for it if it comes up tomorrow. All right, number 11. That's a hard one. So we definitely need, and that was the other most missed one, was 9, 11, 59%. Missed 9 and 11. So okay if I flash off of this? All got that down? 9. We're gonna, okay, what's the formula for perimeter? 2L plus 2. You want to have that in your 3x5 card for tomorrow, right? 2L plus 2W. Okay, and then what is it saying here? Length is L equals 26 more added to width. Isn't that what it's saying there? So I take that and I plug it in for L. Because L is 26 plus W. So you replace L with 26 plus W. And the perimeter, that's 196. That goes right there. So 196 is 2, and L is 26 plus W plus 2W. Am I good up there? Good. Here's the wall. Distribute. It's going to be 52 plus 2W plus the other 2W. Add those together. Is that 4W, these guys? It's 196. How do you solve for W? Subtract 52. Boom. We get 144. Is 4W. Last step to get W alone, divide by 4. 72, 36. So the width is 36. We got the width. And how do we get the length? Yeah, right over here. It says length is 26 added to W. So W is 36. So 26 plus 36, right? What's that, 50, 62? So it's a 36 by 62. That's not there. It's none of the above. Dastardly. It's none of the above after all that work. I threw that curveball at you, or the publishers did. Is that good? Does that make sense? Like you could do that tomorrow if there's a perimeter question on the exam. That was number 11. Number 12. And then I want to do 19 and 20, huh? We good to there? I think if 12 is a harder one. Remember the percent increase or percent decrease problem? That's what this is, right? A raise, a percent increase. It's x plus percent x is new, or the other way would be x minus percent x is new. So the decrease has the minus, the increase has the plus. Put those on your 3x5 card, right? 3x5 card for tomorrow's test. These two formulas. Which one are we doing on the raise? It's a raise. So that's an increase, huh? But if they had something on sale, that would be a decrease, right? We did some of each. There'll be one of those on the exam tomorrow. I don't even know which one, to tell you the truth. I don't remember. All right, so it's an increase. So x plus percent x is new. Here, let me fill it in. So what is the percent? It's 8%. What do I do for 8%? Good. So it's got to be two places, huh? 0.08x, right? Because percent has two zeros in it, two places. Means per hundred, as we talked about. The new price is $25,920, or new salary, I mean. So there's our equation, which most of you got. How do you solve that? This is a 1x and a 0.08x. So it's 1.08x. 25,920. How do you solve for x there? Divide by the 1.08. And x is, I guess that's the 24,000. Is that what it is? Which is none of the above. Tricky again. None of the above. 24,000. Questions on that? Good? Okay. I want to get to 19 and 20. Those are the other tricky ones, I think. You guys okay with that? Got that copy down? Can I flash off that? Let me do 18 and 19 and we'll stop, because that covers 20. So 18. 65 is 30% of what number? So 65 is equals, remember? Is equals 30%, 0.30, of is times, the what number is the x? There's our equation. See, I just directly went from English to math, just straight. Everybody see that? The is the equals. The 30% becomes 0.30. The what becomes x. Everybody good? Now you just solve for x. Here's the log, so I want to be alone. So what do? Divide by 0.30. Boom. So x is, I have no idea. What's x there? 216.67? So it's, yeah, right. So that rounds to 67. Yeah. Good on 18. I want to do 19 before I let you go, so because 19 is tricky. Is everybody good on that one? On 18, just direct translation. And then 19 and 20. Oh, 20 was more missed than 19. Maybe I should do 20. All right. Everybody got that? So